Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Christabelle Spiritualist Church here in beautiful Cherry Valley, Illinois. I know that I say that every week, but look outside. It's a glorious day out, isn't it? I mean, this is a perfect day for a 4th of July barbecue. So before I go any further, I do ask that you please turn off any cell phones or any electronic devices, or at least put them on vibrate, so that we don't get to hear some nice music that isn't church-related during the service. And if there's anyone out there who would like to ring the bell this morning?
I would.
Okay. If there's anybody else, feel free. We can have more than one person. We have an actual bell here at the Christabelle Church. And so as something to help us kind of get more in tune with Spirit, to help Spirit to know that we are ready to spend time, we ring the bell. Go for it. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Ruth.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Now, before we move into the more formal aspects of our church service today, I do have several announcements for everyone. First of all, I have it on good authority. A little birdie told me that the Cherry Valley fireworks are tonight, and a good place to watch those fireworks happens to be from the service road right out front here. So apparently people line up and will watch the fireworks out that way in Cherry Valley. So if anybody needs a place that they want to look for a good place to watch fireworks from, sounds like you've got one right here at the church. Oh, there you go. Our next Wednesday evening Spirit greeting is scheduled for July 14th. Now, for those of you who are not aware about what a Spirit greeting church service is, it is a church service that is entirely devoted to connecting with loved ones in spirit. And it is limited to 20 people, and it's $20 per person. So during that time, if you're not sure what I mean when I say Spirit greeting, think of it as being similar to a gallery reading. If you've ever seen John Edward or any of those people up on stage, it's similar to that. Our annual church board meeting for our membership is on July 18th, immediately following church services. So that would be 2 weeks. All members in good standing, we are asking that you please attend this service because we do vote on very important issues with the direction of the church. We have several board positions that are going to be up for election. There's the vote to retain your current student pastor. There's some bylaw changes. So there's some very important things that will be discussing and that the entire congregation of, like I said, and I'm going to specifically word it as members in good standing, are here to vote on. Now, let's see, what else do I have here? Any pastoral students who would like to serve the platform, please see me after church, or for those of you who are watching virtually, feel free to contact me, and I'm sure that we can come up with a day or a time that'll work. We are always welcoming volunteers to help us out on Sundays here for the usher positions, to fill in as the chairperson role, which is what I am doing currently. And of course, we'll train you on etiquette and all of that. And if you are interested in serving the church in this capacity, please come see me after church. For anyone who would rather provide their offering online, I apologize, everyone. I'm rather tongue-tied this morning. For everyone who would prefer to provide their offering online rather than in person, we do also have a virtual offering plate that is available not only on our Facebook church page, but also on our church's website as well. And anything that you can add to that virtual offering plate as well as here in person is greatly appreciated. For all my mediumship students, those of you who are in my closed development circle right now, please remember your homework. Remember, every morning I ask that you please take just a moment to sit with Spirit and to connect with your own guides and ask them for your guidance for the day. Just as a reminder for those of you who may have been just not necessarily following your homework as much. All right, I think it's time we officially begin our church service. Oh, yes? For those of you following along at home, Barb just reminded the congregation that tomorrow is my birthday, and apparently we will be singing Happy Birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you, everyone, for that wonderful rendition. I do appreciate that. Now that you've embarrassed your student pastor, let me please bow your heads, and we will begin our church service with our invocation. Infinite Spirit, we give thanks for this day and the opportunity to be with like-minded people. As we join together today to share in the wisdom of the universe, we welcome guidance and blessings upon the speaker and the message bearers. May divine truths be revealed to us. In the name of truth, amen. And now, at this time, pardon me one moment. The essence of what spiritualism is, what we represent, what we believe, is really wrapped up in 9 statements. And we call these statements our Declaration of Principles. So at this time, if you could, please turn your hymnals to the inside front cover, and I ask that you please read aloud with me our Declaration of Principles. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals, and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. My favorite part. All right, at this time, we will begin our healing portion of our church service today. And I will be reading aloud from our list of absent friends that are in need of healing. And as I do so, I ask that you please focus your attention and your intention on sending healing to these people, sending healing to those names, to help them to become healthier, happier, better, stronger, happier people. After I finish reading these names, if you have any names that did not make it onto the list but that you would like also added, if you are willing, just feel free to say that person's first name aloud, and we will just mentally add them to our list. Simon's family. Jen and family. Jeff W. Ryan. CJ. Debbie. Derek. Deborah and Jeff. Jeff. Barb. Hank and Ruth. Joanne. Julie. Karen. Lori. James Bond. Jake. Ken. Debbie. Cassie and Alex. If you have anyone that you would like to add, feel free to say their name out loud.
Jamie.
And now we will be playing our healing hymn for today. So I ask that you please turn your hymnals to hymn number 11, In the Sunlight of Today, and let us all join together in song. Let us march and never weary, never falter by the way. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. Let us grasp the hand that smites us and the languor heart at bay. Loving others never rights us in the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. Let us bear each other's sorrows and give sympathy full sway, looking for the bright tomorrows in the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. In the sunlight of today. Let us make the world more cheery in the sunlight of today. And now we will conclude the healing portion of our church service by reading aloud the prayer for spiritual healing, which can be found on the back inside cover of your hymnals. And when you're ready, it looks like everyone is ready, please join me in reading this aloud. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body, and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of Spirit. All right, and now, pardon me while I get a drink. I'm a little parched this morning, but your sermon for today will be presented by your student pastor, Mark Dorsett. So if you could please give him a warm welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate you all being here. We have a wonderful turnout today for this very important day in America, for the day that we have chosen to commemorate the anniversary of our Declaration of Independence. Or as George Washington put it, it was the first step towards the last great experiment for human happiness. In other words, today we celebrate our Independence Day. For a lot of people, one of the things that makes this nation great is the way in which our system of capitalism and competition appear to drive things forward. However, as Bambigiki Habayamana said, yes, I did pronounce that correctly, competition may help us create better products and services, but in the end, competition really seeks to destroy the opponent, to put him out of the power to compete against you. Essentially, what I'm referring to there leads to a monopoly. You know that game, right? How many of you know that game? I'm sure we've all kind of played it at one point. One person has tons of fun, right? Well, everybody else just kind of ends up angry and frustrated. You know, I cannot count the number of times that I have seen someone playing Monopoly and that board has ended up flipped over by somebody who is very upset with how it went. And you know, that's really extra awkward when you're playing the game digitally. Anyhow, another thing that also makes this a nation of greatness is the fact that we are a nation of people who are always striving to improve ourselves. We are always looking to be better than who we were or what we were before. So I have to ask, now, how many of you out there really don't try and improve yourselves? How many of you out there just kind of feel like, you know what, I'm perfect the way I am. I really don't need to be any better than who or what I am right now. Okay, cool. I'm glad to see that nobody is going, yep, I'm perfect the way I am. Now, I really am curious though, how many of you out there are looking to always be improving your lives or improving yourselves? All right, great. Now, what the heck, you know what? Let's get arm day out of the way right away this morning, okay? Everybody ready? Raise your hands again. For those of you who are looking to improve your lives, how many of you out there are in competition with someone around you? Come on, be honest with me now. Pastor Mark knows. There we go, there's somebody. So, who are you competing with? Are you in competition with a sibling, a frenemy, maybe a coworker? Honestly, it doesn't matter who it is that you're in competition with, so much as why you feel the need to be in competition with that person or with those people. For what reason do you feel the need to measure yourself against another person? I mean, what truly comes from beating someone at whatever imaginary competition that you happen to be engaged in? Is it an evolutionary throwback? Is it coming way back from Herbert Spencer's theories about survival of the fittest? Is it something else entirely? Sorry, I'm just speaking metaphorically for a minute there. But I get it though, I really do. It can be an incredible self-esteem boost, right? To be able to know that you've bested someone at whatever game it is that you're playing. But honestly, ultimately, as was so eloquently said by Edmund Mbiaka, living one's life as it is a competition between oneself and others is an inevitable path to a stressful life. And I think if you think about that statement for just a second, it really is very true. When you spend all of your time trying to make yourself look better than someone else, or to try and make yourself feel like you are better than someone else, then all you're doing is you're trying to hit that moving target that is someone else's life. That really doesn't sound very stress-free or productive, does it? You know what that does sound like, though? It sounds like a recipe for jealousy, to be honest. So not just out of curiosity, how could our conversation about competition suddenly turn into a recipe for jealousy? Like this. Say you're in competition with someone. I don't know, let's say it's a sibling. A lot of people have siblings that they compete with, whether they want to admit it or not. So, for example, the two of you have always felt the need to try and one-up each other. You might get A's and B's in school, and then the next year your siblings would have to try and get straight A's. They got a letter in track. You would have to go out for basketball and drama so you could get even more accolades than they did. Why? What's the purpose? Is it for the sake of truly improving yourself? Or are you just trying to prove to your siblings that you are a better person than they are? Or maybe you're just trying to win more love from your parents. What is it that keeps you locked in that eternal struggle, that eternal fight against someone else's successes? Is it pride? Is it greed? The need for someone else to tell you how great you are? Or is it the need for you to maybe tell someone else how great you are? When you continually compete with someone and allow yourself to be jealous of their successes, you will find that the following phrase becomes your life. The envious die not once, but as oft as the envied win applause. Wait, what? Aren't you being a little dramatic there? You know what? Yes, Yes, I am. Thank you for noticing. Now think about that line though for just a minute, really. The envious die not once, but as oft as the envied win applause. So let's go back to our completely hypothetical scenario from just a few minutes ago. Or better yet, let's go to a time in your own life when you were jealous of someone. Now, I see the looks out there. Come on, admit it. We've all had those experiences at one point or another where we were jealous or envious of another person. Someone that we were in competition with had some measure of success. It doesn't matter what it is, it's just something that they did well or something that they got some sort of positive attention for. How does that make you feel when that happens? Now, if we are being honest with ourselves, and hopefully everybody here is, it stings a little bit when someone else gets some success that we're jealous of, because that green monster, it just unleashed its fangs and, released a little more venom into us when that happens. Jealousy hurts. Jealousy truly is the green monster that will threaten to consume us if we allow it to. Put quite plainly, jealousy is no more than feeling alone against smiling enemies. And I love that line. I really do, because that makes so much sense. Even if we know better, it will feel like their success is our failure. Now, I do want to briefly touch on this point. By being obsessively competitive and jealous of another person, you are not living your life freely. Or, as Helen Rowland said, jealousy is the tie that binds and binds and binds. That is all jealousy does. It ties someone else to us and to their judgment of us. Uh-oh. I know what all those looks mean. Okay, here's what I'm seeing from a lot of the looks from you right now. Okay, fine. I get that I shouldn't be in competition with someone else, but, riddle me this, Mr. Pastor Man. What am I supposed to do if someone else feels the need to be in competition with me? Okay, you ready? Okay, here's what you do. You love them unconditionally. You send them happiness and healing as much as you can possibly muster for that person. Why? Because, as was said by Mr. James Altucher, your competition is not other people, but the time you kill, the ill will you create, the knowledge, the neglect to learn, the connections you fail to build, the health you sacrifice along the path, your inability to generate ideas, the people around you who don't support and love your efforts, and whatever God you curse for your bad luck. Translation? Principle number 7, in action. Even if someone feels the need to try and compete with you, that is not your problem. Live your life to the best of your ability. Be the best you that you can possibly be, and don't let anyone else drag you down or pull you off your path. Or another quote in the words of Sir Anthony Hopkins, my philosophy is, it's none of my business what people say and think of me. I am what I am, and I do what I do. I expect nothing and accept everything. And it makes life so much easier. And I can totally relate to that statement. I honestly can. I find that the more that I focus on my life and my life path, the happier that I am. The more content that I am with life. It's really a much more drama-free way of living, and honestly, who wants to live their lives surrounded by drama llamas? Not me. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you that living a life free of competition with others is also something that is much easier said than done. But that's also why I can speak with authority on this subject, because I've been there. And there have been times when I personally did feel like I was in competition with someone else. But I also know what it's like to have other people feel like they need to be competing with me, or even to be jealous of me. And quite honestly, it kind of boggles my mind that anyone would be jealous of me, but it has happened. One of the main ways that you will find that a person's competitive nature will be coming out towards you is how they react when you succeed. Look for those people who are keeping their distance from you when something goes your way. They may feel like they're in competition and that your success is their failure, at least in their mind. Look at those people who are the quickest to criticize you. Those are the people who are trying to tear you down rather than lift you up. When someone judges you, they see themselves in competition with you. Now, how often have you had somebody out there who has judged you for how you're dressed, how you speak, how you act, etc.? That means that the other person is judging you against themselves. More unnecessary competition. Unfortunately, I have seen far too many people recently who have felt the need to be in competition with each other in every area of their lives. So what happens when someone is fixated on competing with you or vice versa? What happens when you are focused on someone else to the point that you are not truly living your life? You are doing yourself and your guides a great disservice by not living your own life. When you are in competition with someone, what you are basically saying is that you don't feel like you're good enough all by yourself and that you want to be someone else. And really, if you're going to want to change something about yourself, honestly, it's easier to be the best version of you that you can be instead of trying to be another person. When you are not being true to you, not only do you feel it, but so does everyone around you. And speaking from experience again, I know that it is not easy to go your own way. But there is a great power in embracing your own life, its challenges as well as its joys. Whenever you are confronted by someone who is trying to be jealous of you or someone who wants to judge you, send them that love, send them that healing, send them compassion, and then go about your way. If you think about it, when you're comparing yourself to someone else, you're not being true to yourself, and I know I mentioned that. But what you are saying is that you are allowing yourself to be tied to the identity of another person. Think about it. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're not being the strong, independent Christabelle sunflower that you know you are deep down. After all, isn't that the theme for today? Independence Day? It can be taken to be more than just for the country, but for each and every one of us as well. Now, as you go forth this week, remember what a strong, independent person that you are, and that you are the best you that there is. Nobody else can do you like you do. You are not in competition with anyone. I want each of you to go out there this week and live your best life. While you're at it, always celebrate your own independence every day. Thank you. Now, at this time, I do ask for our ushers to come forward to, please, for the collection of the offering. If you could please bow your heads. Infinite Spirit, we give thanks for these gifts so generously given. Without these gifts, we cannot grow. We ask a blessing for what is shared with us today and a special blessing for the givers. May they continue seeing the law of abundance in their lives. We dedicate these gifts to the future of our church and to spiritualism. Amen. That's okay.
Didn't know that was an accident.
We were almost done with this portion anyway, so.
I was going to go with the next song, and I realized that
Oh.
you're just going to just exit that song.
John? And now we will be beginning our spirit greeting portion of our church service today. I do ask at this time that anyone who is coming to work the platform as a medium, please come up and have a seat. We do this portion of our church service because one of the main and most important spiritualist understandings is that life and love go on beyond the physical change called death. So this is the time in which our mediums, they do present, I'll say evidential proof to certain members of the congregation randomly, whoever spirit chooses, to help them understand that a loved one in spirit is with them. At this time, if you would like to receive a reading when we come to you. Now, a lot of you we know by name, but there's a few people here that are new and that we really appreciate all of our new people as well. When we address you and we ask if we can come to you specifically, if you would like a reading, please stand up and tell us yes. If you would prefer not to receive a spirit greeting today, we ask that you remain seated and just tell us no thank you, and then we will move on to the next person with no problem. So there's no pressure. At this time, we will actually begin this particular part of our service with a song. And we will be singing hymn number 167. So I ask that you please stand for this. Kind of helps get the vibration raised in the chapel and kind of helps spirit to know that we are ready. Hymn number 67, Sweetly Falls the Spirit's Message. Sweetly falls the Spirit's message from the home beyond the time. Ever do we bid thee welcome, dwellers from the other side. Welcome, loved ones, we are waiting to receive our words of cheer. Ever do they give us comfort in our toilsome journey here. Often falls the cloud so dreary, o'er the rough and hidden way. When with care we all grow weary, for your cheering words we pray. Welcome, loved ones, we are waiting to receive our words of cheer. Ever do they give us comfort mid our toilsome journey here. Sweetly falls the loving message when we pause by midnight tears to bind up the broken fragments of our work of lonely years. Welcome, loved ones, we are waiting to receive our words of cheer. Ever do they give us comfort in our toilsome journey here. All right, you may be seated. Ruth, would you like to begin?
Sure.
What I do is I cut it out so it's not going for broadcast.
Okay, thank you. I don't have the microphone, I can get the best of them. Hi, if anybody doesn't know me, my name is Ruth Maclazo. I have been here since God Wore Sandals. Haven't been here in a while.
If anyone could please, if you felt like the message spoke to you, if you could fill one of those affidavits out for either Ruth or I guess I can always accept a couple more, but if anything spoke to you, please, we really do appreciate it. It helps us to become certified mediums with the National Spiritualist Association of Churches. Now, at this time, our closing hymn for today, being that it is Independence Day, I ask that you please stand for this one just because, it's a little more of a patriotic song. And I ask that you please turn to page 195, or should I say hymn 195, and we will be singing America. Let's sing it loud. Let them hear you on the recording. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. My native country, land of the noble free, thy name I love. I love my rocks and hills, thy woods and temple hills, thy heart with rapture thrills, like that above. Our fathers gone to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy light, great God our King. And now, if you could please bow your heads for our closing benediction. We close this service with the deepest gratitude for this day. We ask a blessing on all who have taken time to join us today. May we be ever learning, ever moving forward beyond the errors of the past, and knowing that we have an endless supply of new beginnings. Amen. This concludes our Christabelle Spiritualist Church service for this wonderful Independence Day. Thank you everyone for coming. Have a great week ahead.